First of all, the A51 5G is light, really light. Samsung has always done a good job of building featherweight phones that still feel well made, and the A51 5G is proof of that. Its 6.5-inch display is nearly 2 inches larger than the 4.7-inch panel inside the Apple's new iPhone SE. The A51 5G's display is flat, which is actually a breath of fresh air from the curved panels in every modern premium handset. It's hard to put my finger on, but a flat screen simply feels simpler to use and easier to live with. The A51 5G is attractive with its upper slim bezels and a display that perfectly follows the silhouette of the body. But it gets better, the A51 has a headphone jack. One of the best things about the last year's Galaxy A50 was its AMOLED display, which is a luxury typically reserved for more premium devices. Rather than use a rear-mounted fingerprint sensor, the A51 5G comes with an in-display optical scanner that works well most of the time. Rather than using one of Qualcomm's mid-range 600 or 700 series chipset, the Galaxy A51 5G derives its power from Samsung's own Exynos 980 CPU. It is supported by 6 or 8 GB of RAM depending on the variant. The Exynos 980 is an 8nm processor. The A51 5G excels at games. For a budget handset anyway, you can play most of the popular games without any problem. You might expect 1 or 2 cameras from this phone, but the Galaxy A51 5G has 4 on the back. A 48MP wide-angle primary shooter supported by 12MP ultra-wide, 5MP depth and 5MP macro optics. A 32MP sensor serves selfie duties on the front. That's a whole lot of megapixels, and when conditions are favorable, the A51 5G can pull in a lot of detail. We like the A51 5G's depth effects. That ultra-wide shooter shines when the sun is out. There's a surprising level of detail overall in Samsung's shot and good dynamic range as you move from the shadows to daylight. So what about the night shots? Well, you would think the A51 5G would be better equipped for such scenarios because it has a night mode, something Apple's cheapest iPhone lacks. As we discovered, it's not very useful. In complete darkness, the shot it captures are totally unacceptable. You can record 4K video at 30fps. Pictures taken with selfie camera delivers stunning quality with great color accuracy and dynamic range. Samsung has used 4500 mAh battery into the Galaxy A51 5G. That big battery plus the A51's hardware being optimized more for efficiency than all-out power should guarantee exceptional battery life. This device also supports 15-watt fast charging. An excellent amount of upgrades over its predecessor. This device is a pleasure to hold and use. The display is a 6.7-inch AMOLED panel. The display is beautiful as well. All the AMOLED awesomeness is present, such as vivid colors with the option to switch to a more natural look, deep blacks, wide viewing angles and excellent brightness levels. Thanks to the Infinity O screen, the bezels have been reduced and the punch hole for the front camera looks better than the U-shaped camera cutout we saw on the Galaxy A70's display. The A71 5G is sleek and light. There's plastic on the back, but the phone feels premium while not being slippery as a phone with a glass back. The in-display optical fingerprint sensor has been improved as well. It's much quicker and more accurate than last year, even more so than theoretically superior ultrasonic in-display sensor on Samsung's flagships. Naturally, facial recognition is supported and it works well most of the time. It is powered by Exynos 980 chipset coupled with 6 or 8 GB of RAM depending on the variant you buy. Performance in day-to-day use is excellent. There's barely any stutter or lag, and all of the graphically intensive gaming titles run well. This phone have quad rear camera setup. The Galaxy A71 5G 64MP primary camera takes 16MP photos using pixel binning, and when the lighting is right, you get really beautiful pictures. There's a lot of detail in daylight shots and good dynamic range. Color reproduction is also faithful to real life in most cases. Nighttime shots come out noisy or grainy, although the dedicated night mode tends to focus on increasing the detail in dark objects rather than controlling noise levels. The 12MP ultra-wide camera takes better photos than the A70 was capable of, at least in terms of the detail captured. The A71 also has a 5MP macro camera, which is a great addition to this setup, and the last one is 5MP depth sensor. You can record 4K video at 30fps and 1080p super slow-mo video at 960fps. On the front, there is a single 32MP camera for selfies, which delivers great picture quality. It is powered by a 4500 mAh battery with 25-watt fast charging support. It has impressive battery life and can get you up to 2 days on a single charge with light uses on Wi-Fi and a little mobile data, and a full day if you are a heavy user who tends to play games, watch YouTube videos and do other power intensive things on their phone. If you travel a lot, the